If you're watching this video, it's pretty likely that you have searched for some sort of reassurance for at least a few of your anxiety symptoms. And how do I know this? Because it's a natural instinct to look for possible danger when under these high amounts of stress. It's the fight or flight mode kicking in, and it wants to secure your survival. But in our situation, in which we are in no real danger, at least I hope you aren't, do you think this constant search for reassurance is the right thing to do? Well, this is going to be a bit of a weird topic for me to talk about, as many of the videos here on this channel are pretty much aimed to provide reassurances for you guys. So yes, you can say that generally speaking, I do believe that finding reassurance for the things that you worry about can be necessary and can aid to your recovery process. But as always, many of us with an anxiety disorder find it very difficult to find a healthy balance in doing so. During my anxiety days, I would feel one of the many sensations going on somewhere on or in my body, something that felt a little weird. In these moments, I would try everything humanly possible not to think about and hopefully distract myself from it. But if you've watched some of my previous videos, you will know that doing this never really works, at least in the long run. Trying not to think about something is only going to pronounce the problem. So at the end, there always came this point in which I had to give up and give in to my fears. In my mind, this would go something like this. Yes, I know, everyone is telling me that I have anxiety issues. But this, what I'm feeling right now, it's different. This time, it could very well be something serious. At this point, I just had to know if what I was experiencing could be from anxiety alone. I stormed to my computer and went through anxiety forums, sometimes even for hours, with the bitter need to find someone who had experienced the same sensation exactly the same way I did. If it was something that just sounded roughly the same, it was never enough. It had to be exactly the same. If I couldn't find anything, I then had to create my own thread and pray that I would get the answers I needed. And to be honest, in almost all cases, I got the answers I was looking for. People telling me their stories, their experiences, and so on. Whew! That instantly lifted some weight off my shoulders, and I felt a lot better straight away. But as you probably can guess and have experienced yourself, this kind of reassurance doesn't last for too long, or else anxiety recovery would be just so easy. It could be a few minutes, hours, or days, but I would always go back to worrying about the symptom again. Maybe it felt a little different than before. Maybe I read an article somewhere about another disease that could manifest itself in this way. Or I wasn't too sure about the source of the reassurance, and off I would go looking for some comfort from somewhere else. Friends, family, forums, and doctors were all on my go-to list, but none of them gave me that long-lasting peace of mind I was hoping for. It was just an endless cycle of worrying, finding some comfort, and then end up worrying again. Now looking back, I must say that the constant search for reassurance for all the sensations you are feeling is just feeding your anxiety. Every time you feel extremely anxious about the symptom, and you end up on the internet, for example, you are basically confirming that what you are worried about is something that needs to be aware of and researched about. You are confirming to your brain that it could actually be something dangerous. Looking up or searching up answers for your worries acts as a confirmation of possible danger, which is something you should always try to avoid. But if you are very new to anxiety, or have slowly learned to accept anxiety, and want to jumpstart the recovery process, I do believe that seeking out reassurance can be pretty much necessary. Knowing how anxiety works, and having a grasp of what the effects on the body and mind a disorder like this can have, is just too important to completely avoid it. But again, once you receive the knowledge and the comfort, you should do everything you can to ride out that uncertainty that will always come back a short while after. Understand that it is normal for you to feel uncertain, worried, and in constant search for logical answers. You are under so much stress and in fight or flight mode, your mind is very negatively poled. It will always think about worst case scenarios. Because back in the days, being as stressed out as you are now most probably meant you were in real physical danger. But nowadays that's hardly the case, and the worrisome and alerted mind is kind of out of place today. In my opinion, the best thing you can do is to gather up a lot of knowledge about your anxiety and know what it can do to you. Get that initial reassurance from a professional, like your doctor, psychiatrist, and maybe from people who went through it all by themselves, like I did, and then just let it be. You will probably feel that urge to find answers and get that short-term relief, which feels pretty good at that very moment, I know. You need to resist and trust your knowledge base that you have built up for yourself. Remind yourself that it's your ancient monkey brain that wants you to give in to your fears. But you now know what it is, and you know how your body and mind will react in these stressful situations. I'll be honest here, and say that it's very possible that your anxiety levels will peak when implementing this. but it will quickly plateau and decrease once you have successfully eradicated any doubts you may have about your anxiety. Thanks for watching, everyone, and if you're new here and want to see more anxiety-related content just like this one, consider subscribing.